Hey everybody, welcome to episode 87 of the Geek Bytes podcast. I'm Ramon Mejia,
I'm Edgar Acosta.
and every single week we bring you the round of the week's best geek and tech news. We discuss that news and of course anything else we're interested in that week.
Geek news this week. We'll talk about robotic sensations, ordering pizza on Facebook, the new Nintendo console, the Logan movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and much, much more.
Absolutely. Before we begin the show, I want to give a quick shout out to Heath Prather and Jay Taylor for supporting the podcast on Patreon. We got 2 new Patreon subscribers. They're amazingly awesome.
Dudes, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep. Totally. Now, if anyone else wants to support the podcast to get those exclusive rewards for being a Patreon supporter and patron, you can find us at www.patreon.com/Geek Podcast. We're more than willing to do all kinds of weird and funny things and give you a shout out too if you were one of our Patreon supporters. But thank you guys again.
You can tell how much of a geek guy I'm not because I always get the / and the / confused.
Forward / is when the guitar player. Backslash is I think it's a bedroom thing.
Ooh.
But we're going to move it on to our geek news section.
All right. Going to the awesome music. Can't tell if that's your ring or your bracelet, but a man feels robotic sensations. Geekit.com reports that a group at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center have implanted quadriplegic Nathan Copeland with a series of chips that can lead him feel with a robotic arm. 2 arrays of electrodes were implanted and connected to a receiver attached to his skull. One set lets him send signals from his motor cortex to a computer that can move a robotic hand. The other sends signals to the robotic fingers to his sensory cortex. So a lot of spinal stuff.
Yeah, this is definitely kind of a cool technology kind of thing. For a while now, robotics has been advanced enough with neural implants to let people control a robotic arm with their mind, basically. But at this point, we're sending information in the other direction. So not just sending the information to a robotic arm to move around, but actually sending information from the robotic arm back to some person's brain, and they can actually feel a sense of touch. And so this is an amazing step forward, and not just in the field of amputee limb replacement, making actual replacement limbs sensitive to touch, but possibly things like the Matrix, where you can have implants in your brain and you can feel a sense of touch and sensation within a virtual system. So this is totally cool. I think this is totally gonna lead to the Matrix.
I'm sorry, I already think pops are popping in my head if I say them out loud, and I gotta semi-censor myself. But who wants that? Sensations is like, for a while it's like feeling. I'm like, you make fun of it, make fun of a robot, and you're like, hey, you call yourself a robot, you piece of shit. No, but anyway, my thing is the sensory thing is because you could always give a robot directions, yes. But once you send, I want to know what levels of sensations it could take, because like sensory of temperature, if
At this point, it's just a sense of touch. So that's all. It's like a sense of pressure. This is the basics begin this kind of thing. But once you start establishing those connections, that ability to actually send information, and the brain recognizes it, it's only gradual steps to providing more sensations to this type of biological robotic technology, where it's not just a sense of pressure. Like, he could tell which finger on the robot's hand was being touched because of all the information being sent to his brain. But of course, that can be sent to like temperature, all kinds of feels. So this way, the robot can actually feel itself killing you during the robot apocalypse. That's the other option.
But it's all about balls, big, sweaty, hairy balls, Jay. But also the other thing is, like, when you talk about pressure, there's also the different types of thickness of pressure. Because there's when you're getting pressed by a flat surface, and then there's like a sharp, pointy, kind of like a blade. Like, would the robot feel the difference between a blade? At some point,
right? Yeah, possibly. It's totally possible. And we're speaking to Jay Sullivan in the chat room. Hey, Jay, thanks for joining us, man.
Love you, Jay.
And you're right, it actually does. If you just jumped into the live stream on Facebook, it kind of sounds like he's talking about bite balls. Yeah. But we're moving to our next tech story.
More balls. No, just kidding. Or something
Can
else.
you hear me now? Microsoft research team has announced its speech recognition technology has reached a word rate error of 5.9, putting it on par with human transcribers. Now, while this might not seem like the most exciting technology in the world, especially compared to the robotic, touchy, feely stuff, this way computers can be a lot more useful, especially when you consider artificial intelligence. And if you've ever been frustrated with Siri on your phone or Alexa from Android or was Alexa or Amazon? I can't remember. Then you know that the ability to recognize speech on a consistent basis and understand context is really, really important to making these types of technologies useful. So the fact that this has been done and done well to the point where it's equal to what a human could potentially do when transcribing, which is a very difficult task, by the way. It makes these technologies very viable to be useful to humans. Imagining all the different things you could do with the computer and technology when it actually can understand you.
Totally, because it makes sense. You got people that obviously can't text or whatnot, lack of appendages. And of course, the awesome thing is for international travelers, when they do the speech recognition, then to add the speech translation, it makes things easier. It's almost like that one where we did a little story about the little earpiece that will actually do the translation for you. You just pop it in. It's very similar to the Star Trek communicator thing that you just automatically will recognize whatever language they're speaking to you and just translate it to something that you understand.
Absolutely, yeah. All those technology are dependent upon the system being able to understand you accurately and usefully. Another extension of this would be like your smart home. Have you ever talked about that Jetson smart home where you just walk in the door and you start talking to your artificial intelligence that's ruling your home? House, turn on the lights, get me dinner ready. Then it has to be able to understand you. So far, we've been developing technology that increases computer intelligence, its ability to do things, in an efficient manner. But it never really picked up because the interface was always kind of awkward. You had to use a touch screen, which is a bunch of menus popping around, or you had to manually program it to do tasks set to buttons or whatever. But if you could just say something to it and it actually understood you for once, that's kind of the threshing point where it makes it super useful in so many ways.
Definitely an advancement for mankind. But also related, ordering pizza while surfing Facebook. Technology. Facebook is testing new features for the US users starting Wednesday. Facebook pages will now let you order food from delivery.com or slice.com. Set appointment using My Time, get a professional service quote, and buy tickets through Ticketmaster and Eventbrite, all without leaving Facebook.
Yeah, this is Facebook's attempt to basically keep you in their ecosystem as long as possible and do a bunch of services which they can take a small percentage of. And for a lot of people who are already on Facebook anyways, this is going to be really useful. And Facebook is going to make a bit of money, but more than that, for their users, it's super convenient. I mean, how many of us would just like to, instead of like going to a bunch of different apps, just have everything on one particular app and just say, hey, I want to order pizza. And look, it just pops up and it says, they already know your address, whatever it is. And you say, yeah, that one right there, click, and it's on its way.
Well, pro and con on it, yes, because, how hard is it to not, click another window since you're on Facebook, or yes, open up another app and everything, because everything's pretty much preset. But I think the one that will get people to actually go through especially through Facebook, is some kind of discount. They got to get some kind of perk out of it, because that's what really keeps you on thing. Because like, what's stopping me from going somewhere else for the exact same product?
No, that's true enough. If Facebook can be as competitive as anyone else, I mean, there's just a digital footprint. You don't have to do any paper advertising, but you can also customize your market based upon the people of the information that you have. And Facebook has a ton of information on us. So they can customize ads and coupons and whatever it is just for you. So when you start getting those coupons for, Nauru foot massages, then Facebook has been watching you too. But in other entertainment news, or I should say tech news, we have Apple. Apple rumors. Who doesn't love them some Apple rumors? Apple has sent out a media invite to an event at its Cupertino campus on Thursday, October the 27th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The invite just says, "Hello again," and features the top half of an Apple logo filled with reddish smoke. Now, many people are speculating that this will be the Apple event where they're going to announce a new MacBook Pro.
That's why you take the smoke?
Yes, because they're blowing smoke up
people's asses?
I was going to say up their customers' bank accounts, but hey, man, whatever.
Well, as long as it's not a burning cross, so I'm okay with that, I guess. But MacBook Pros, they have evolved from times. Remember when the first console was a big gray mini TV that's like took up space and eventually went for towers? If you remember when there was those colorful, like, looked like just like a tube TV.
Yeah.
The tube itself.
Self-contained.
But, and it was fine for its time and it's evolving. But what do you think? Okay, what's new in technology? Obviously, we got the combination touchscreen tablet computers that you could literally take apart, put on if you need the keyboard. Other than facial recognition, retina scan, probably. I think there's only going to be so much volume with the cameras because now there's a lot of programs that listen to like voice recognition to follow directions on it. But I was like, I don't know. There's so much. The only thing that we talked about before with any kind of technology, even gaming and everything, is the world of VR.
Okay, so you think Apple's going to announce something virtual reality related?
Probably.
Maybe. Okay, I'm thinking people are speculating the MacBook Pro. I'm gonna laugh if they announce the new iPhone 8. See that would be my face if that's what they announced at this Apple event. But we're not gonna know until they do. They're usually pretty close-lipped, unless there's some mysterious leak. In which case we'll know a lot sooner. Yeah. But moving on to our next story.
Let your car drive you. Elon Musk promises self-driving cars by 2017. Musk announced this week that every new Tesla will be fully compatible of driving itself after being upgraded with a suite of suite of cameras and sensors. Musk says this means his cars will have a level 5 autonomy, and the highest level, which requires zero interaction from the driver. The upgrade will cost around $8,000 extra, and hardware upgrades will come standard. So, yay.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a huge leap forward. Most people were projecting that we're not going to have level 5 automated vehicles until somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2020 at the earliest, maybe 2025 with state and federal regulations going through. Yeah. But Elon Musk just said, "Hey, forget that guy. We're going to put it out in 2017, basically." He's already planning for completely autonomous vehicles in his production line for 2017. So by the end of 2017, he's actually planning to test out the fully autonomous features in a live demonstration by having someone being transported from the East Coast all the way across the country to the West Coast without them ever touching the steering wheel at all. So if you were worried about their autopilot mode, this is like 4 steps above that.
It's like the equivalent to the Spirit of St. Louis flight from the East Coast. I think it might have been New York all the way to Europe.
Yeah, technologically, as far as like cars go, this would be kind of the equivalent. You're absolutely correct. Yeah. This is a huge thing, and they can totally do this because there aren't state or federal regulations regarding this type of technology yet. So Elon Musk is definitely putting his best foot forward and saying, "Hey guys, for an additional $8,000, you can have your car drive you everywhere all the time. You don't have to wait for 2020. It'll be here in 2017."
Exactly. Well, it shows the advancement because, of course, with Google Maps or not just kind of any map, GPSs, everything's pretty much laid out, at least the groundwork for mapping. So we know exactly where it goes. Just unless you're going to be the creepy guy that's going to go on some crazy dirt road off, up in the woods or something, it's not going to go there if it's not mapped out. So I think it's gonna be great. It's just a matter now, like I said before, when it comes to self-driving cars, it's not that I worry about the car; is I worry the other people
on the road.
On the road, because those road rage-aholics.
Yeah, but I mean that's like saying. I mean, I understand your concern, but there are already car accidents because of irresponsible drivers. So
Yeah.
there are only going to be less accidents if let's say half the cars on the road become automated. Well, that's hopefully going to be half as many accidents because there are half as many, valuable humans
More
that are
valuable
driving
PCs.
these huge, 1,000-pound bullets on the road, basically.
That's true.
So I hope I'm super hopeful and excited for this kind of technology. I hope to never drive again. But moving on to some Nintendo news. Nintendo revealed this week their new game console. They're just like, hey guys, we're gonna do this announcement. Here's a video on that day. It's called Nintendo Switch. Enjoy. And that was it. Wasn't a 3-hour announcement at some festival. It was just a video saying, here's the thing that we've been talking about. It's not Nintendo NX. It's called Nintendo Switch, and it'll arrive in March of 2017.
And it wasn't like a bad leak or anything like that.
No, they didn't give us a price point. They were super mum about it, so I'm happy for them that they handled this perfectly, in my opinion. Before the Nintendo Switch, it is a tablet that sits in a dock that connects to your television for home playing. But no, boys and girls, that's not all. On the sides, there is a controller. Nintendo calls them Joy-Cons. It's an odd name to me, but hey, maybe it means something better in Japanese. It connects to the tablet, but they can be removed and taken away for mobile play, so you can actually take the entire tablet and the joystick off and take it on the go. So it's also a mobile gaming station, not just one you can play on your television, but you can also play the exact same games with the exact same fidelity on the go. They don't say how long the battery is going to be or anything, but it looks pretty cool according to the video. Now, there's also a standalone controller which will be made available separately. There are also multiplayer supported scenarios. Games will be distributed on small SD-like cartridges called game cards. And there's a custom NVIDIA Tegra processor powering the graphics. And there also is a list of 48 third-party games that are being developed and going to be published for the Switch. So they're definitely learning from their mistakes with the Wii U.
It got my attention. That's what I literally posted when I shared the video. I'm like, all right, Nintendo, you got my attention. But now that I've actually took some time to actually look it out instead of just being all blown out by the oohs and ahs about it, I think the biggest my issue that I think is going to be the biggest issue with Nintendo itself, like any kind of tablet, like any kind of mobile device, like any kind of thing, is battery life. Because, those hardcore gamers, they love to play, especially even if it's on their Game Boy Advances. It's like they don't want to be attached to a wall the whole time. But I know that I got a feeling like the way they've done with mobile devices, they're going to come like additional battery packs or so to charge it. Because everybody loves to play. And
that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, battery life doesn't seem as big an issue with the rapid availability of larger battery packs. I mean, we both have like portable battery things because we need to charge our phones on the go. We don't always have access to a wall plug. This has been the bane of most electronics in their entire life, battery life. And you're right, that might be a concern. A bigger issue for me is how is the transition going to be between television and tablet? Is it going to be as cool on the television as the Xbox One, as the PS4? I don't think so. I think they're limiting the graphics quality to like 720p. And these other consoles are already saying, hey, we can do 4K. So if you're expecting Nintendo to be the graphic powerhouse on this next iteration, no, it's not. It's not good. That's never been the Nintendo way. No. They're always about, okay, you guys are going over here. We're going to do this thing. Think of what they did with the Wii. When people were doing graphics, they're doing, hey, let's do a fun input control. And they made money hands over fist. They were the absolute dominant console for that particular generation. And I think they're hoping to capitalize on this one. I think they're going to start phasing out their 3DS versions. And they're going to make this both with the exact same hardware, their console presence and their new handheld presence. And the handheld presence is definitely going to be a step up from the very popular 3DS. And I'll only ask you, how much do you think this is going to go for?
Like any kind of new system console, at least starting $300.
Okay, so you think it's going to go like $299?
Oh yeah.
about it. Okay, I think that's a pretty reasonable price. Comparing it to what's already out there, there is the Nvidia system that is a very similar thing. It goes at about $199 though. It's also, you can also dock it to a television and play for the television. So I think it's going to be between $200 and $300, just like you said. Maybe $250 at about that price, or maybe $199 for the basic system, and then like another $50 for like a game console bundle package, whatever it's going to be. But I do think it's also super interesting that they're putting it out in March and not like Christmas of 2017. Do you have any ideas as to why they might do that?
Well, hopefully they don't go the route of Samsung, like the 7, and it winds up exploding on everybody.
We all hope that your new Nintendo console does not explode in your hands. But we'll definitely
batteries made by Samsung.
That would be a very interesting interpretation of what's coming in the future. But we're going to move on from our gaming section into another gaming story.
Even more games. You'll never get over it. Speaking of one of these great games that I played, I don't know if you have, but Red Dead Redemption 2. It's getting a sequel. After a week of teasing, Rockstar Games has finally revealed that Red Dead Redemption 2 will be the third game in a series, arriving in fall 2017 for Xbox One and PS4. So I played the original. I think there was a prior game. I think it was just called Red Dead. That was the first one that came out. So this was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty much literally Grand Theft Auto Western times, because you're literally stealing horses. You could steal from people, kill this and that and whatnot. But it was fun, and it was almost like a little minor history lesson too, because the story took place in, like, I want to say more like the Texas area, because you did literally cross the border into like Mexico, even though they never officially called it, like, it was never, just like a Grand Theft Auto, it was never official, like, oh, this is Mexico City and this is Texas, but it was kind of hinted it that way.
Yes, this, like I said, it's been described as, Grand Theft Auto in the Old West. And it basically took that idea of the open world concept where you as a player can basically kind of do anything you want to. You don't necessarily have to follow the storyline, and it improved upon it. And it made it into a different setting instead of just the urban kill thing setting, basically. And another game that kind of took that same concept and ran with it even further would be The Witcher 3. Set in a fantasy world setting, and they have in The Witcher 3 they do amazing single story arcs. And I've never played Red Dead Redemption. Was there any like one thing that was super amazing for that particular game that you hope appears in Red Dead Redemption 2?
Honestly, well, the thing with the game, especially the original, if you're a fan of westerns, Tombstone or what have you, it felt like you were definitely in the Western times. You could even customize it. There's a lot of even mini games within it. The biggest killer, and it's been agreed upon about a lot of people. I saw it on Nerdist and everything else. It was the lackluster of the ending. That was the only thing that was a killer. That's the whole story leading up to it was awesome. The only kind of semi-bad part, at least for me, spoilers, they kind of killed the main character, but it continued on through the son. But once again, spoilers, but definitely play it. It's really fun. What I want to see in Red Dead 2 is just more variety. They did do with Red Dead 2. They did do a zombie. They call, like, I think it was like Night of Horrors or something of the Curse or whatever. But I want to see more variety, more exploring, because it was in the borderline of technology too during that Western era between like steam engines and machine guns. So you're not going to see any, unless they want to go some weird sci-fi route, you're not going to see any tablets or any communication devices. They were even borderlining, showing even what was kind of cool. There was a little scene where you actually go to a movie house and watch a little short film.
Okay, so if I can summarize for you real quick, so you hope they keep the same thematic element that you left from the first one, that very Western feel.
Yeah.
You also hope that they include a variety of good DLC and a good variety of character options and story options. Those are all good things to have, and you just hope they end it better. Is that a pretty good,
at least for the story,
good summary?
Yeah, my biggest thing, at least, is story-wise, but everything else, it was just perfectly fine. I'm not gonna have any issues if they're gonna just as long as the controls stay the same. Because that's the thing I noticed. I don't know if you had with certain games, like depending if it's a series. Once you play like the part 2, they kind of remap the buttons a little bit.
Depends if it goes to a different console or not. Now, real
Exactly.
quick, Edith Wolf and Jerry Wilson joined us in our live feed on our chat room. Hey guys, Edith Wolf says awesome. So I think she also threw up some likes for the Red Dead Redemption thing. And Jerry, we're talking about Red Dead Redemption and video games right now. So you joined at the perfect moment, man. Glad to have you in the chat room. But we're going to be moving on to our non-gaming stuff. Leonardo, Leonardo DiCaprio and and April Coke in the chat room. Hi as well. She gave us like lots of hearts. I would hope so. So moving on to our next story about Captain Planet. Leonardo DiCaprio, according to Hollywood Reporter, is in talks with Paramount Appian Way, Leonardo DiCaprio's company, to make Captain Planet an actual, real, big screen production. We've seen versions of this character in the world before. I think Don Cheadle did like a spoofy version for like Funny or Die or something. And this is kind of a weird. This was like a weird 80s 90s character in the version. Well, it was very much in the ecosystem of recycling, do your part kids, educational television, and a lot of that stuff is just kind of that way. You don't see like a ton of educational television on public TV anymore. Not quite as blatantly, where they have like an agenda. So to see this kind of character being revamped, I think it is along the lines of like a lot of classic character, not classic, but like characters through our television childhood being repurposed and for a movie. Like you think of the Power Rangers as being redone. I think this is kind of the similar vein, and I'm not sure exactly how successful it's gonna be because you only had like 3 seasons of an animated production as opposed to the Power Rangers, which were like 20 seasons and still going on basically.
Well, the Captain Planet series, I remember growing up watching it. I wish they still had it going on. There's very few places you could even catch any kind of reruns on it. Was a great show. For any kind of ecoist kind of people, it was a great show. It was a great action. It was a combination of kind of like Power Rangers / Voltron / whatever, because instead of robots coming together to become one form, these kids, their elemental abilities come together and form one superhero guy. But it was cool. It actually tapped some serious subjects, especially for a cartoon series. I was surprised. They've talked about everything from overpopulation to, of course, the destruction of the environment to anything from racism. They just subject matters. There's kind of like even like they did one on like puppy mills. Just people that just like overbreeding them just because for the cute factor of
I'll give them that. They didn't shy away from like the serious content of saving the planet basically in some very serious content, like you said, violence, racism, destruction of the planet. Like I think there was a whole episode where it was like an alternate time future where like everyone's in the whole world had kind of the apocalypse basically, like there was gun running and violence and murder in this world because one of these guys didn't choose the ring like they were supposed to. So very very mature content for an animated feature. I'll definitely give them that. So hopefully Leonardo DiCaprio can bring some good story stuff to this,
because there's the only other cartoon that was semi-similar to it was, you ever heard of a cartoon called Widget the World Watcher?
Nope, not at all.
Oh, see. More of the eco stuff, but it was a great show. I think it'd be an awesome transition for live action, but I wouldn't mind just bringing it back on television, even as a rerun. All right. Well, more hero-related awesomeness is Deadpool 2 casting Domino. The sequel is this year's unexpected mega hit. Deadpool is expected to start production fairly soon, along with fan favorite Cable already announced to make an appearance. It seems that that's so too his deadly albino ally, the female mercenary named Domino. According to the report over at Collider? Director Tim Miller and film producers are now looking towards casting a key female role. The actresses in consideration include Lizzie Kaplan from Masters of Sex, Mary Elizabeth Winstead from 10 Cloverfield Lane, Sienna Miller from American Sniper, Mackenzie Davis from Halt and Catch Fire, Ruby Rose from Orange is the New Black, Eve Hewson from The Nick, and Kelly Rarbach from Baywatch.
Yep. So lots of interesting faces. Anyone in particular that you can kind of picture in this role for Domino?
Honestly, obviously she's already been used. She is quite a bit of an action star, so they can't use Scarlett Johansson as much as they could, but she might be contracted because of the whole Black Widow issue. Um, Kate Beckinsale, she's been awesome in all the God, can't even. I'm like a big fan of the movie, and I'm trying to thank
Yeah.
you, because all it is just her like in a haircut. It's just even a shorter haircut. I don't know if they're gonna give her an accent or anything like that. There's very few even animated cartoons where they have actually shown the Domino character. Even though she's been in the comics for like almost forever, she hasn't been had a lot of screen time via television, animated world, or anything else. In video games too, she's been in the video games.
Okay, I was thinking the girl from Resident Evil. I forget her name.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, something Kovich. Yeah, she was also in the Fifth Element. So she's done a lot of action-y stuff lately. And that series, the Resident Evil series, is apparently coming to a close with this latest film. But we think that every single time.
Yeah.
But they've said on the like, this is the last one we're gonna do, and I'm like, yeah, sure, really.
Well, if you're gonna have Domino and you're gonna have Cable, you're just a couple members away from having X Force. So it would be awesome to me at least to see the X Force characters, the team, because they're not the X-Men, but they are related in the X-Men universe. So just to even give them a hint of them, that would be awesome.
I don't think that Deadpool is ever going to get the. Well, I guess they might. They made so much money. They might get the Wolverine Logan appearance at some point. But right now, I'm just happy that we're getting more Marvel characters in this universe because it's such a hard time for them to even get Colossus and what's her name, the Super New Girl. Super Nuka Megatronic or whatever it is.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, so just getting those two intellectual properties from Marvel was like pulling teeth for that production company. And so hopefully we can get more and more characters into this, super funny, amazing Deadpool world. But we're gonna move on to our next story, which is going to be all about Old Man Logan. Now, quite a few images have been released in this year. Quite a few images have been released this year for Old Man Logan, including villains Pierce and Reaver, allies like Caliban and old Professor Xavier, and now we have pictures of Old Man Logan himself, Wolverine, and there's also an amazing, awesome new trailer, folks. So the amount of stuff that's coming out for this movie, I believe it has a March 2017 release date as well. So many great things coming out in March, apparently.
Oh, yeah,
but this is just one of those things. There's a full-on trailer where you get to see characters. You get to see X-23 apparently, the kid with the healing factor who's genetically created from Logan's DNA, Wolverine, and it's just a weird mashup. It kind of feels it doesn't have a tone of a superhero film. It has the tone of something like No Country for Old Men.
Mm-hmm. Love the soundtrack. I always love Johnny Cash's cover of Hurt. Nothing against Nine Inch Nails, but it just kind of just makes you feel for it more. Looking at the stills, I gotta admit, I kind of got creeped out by Patrick Stewart's Xavier. They done an amazing makeup job because I know, don't get me wrong, he's an old guy already, but they just aged him up a lot more. It's like they practically just like let him out in the sun and just fry. But it looks good. It's I'm not used to seeing a bearded, semi-short-haired Wolverine, but that's what old man Logan is pretty much. It's some cool. They've showed some. I've seen some things on Facebook where you are getting a rated R Logan movie because there was this one still shot that they shown. I think it was in an international trailer where he had his claws up this guy's like chin, and you see the 3 points coming off the top of his head. So that's showing you at least a little bit of a level of graphic violence you're going to be seeing in this kind of movie.
Yeah, Wolverine is actually going to kill people in this movie. Instead of all the other films where he just maim them, disable them with his claws, he's actually going to use those 3 long adamantium claws to murder some folks, that cut off some limbs probably. Hopefully there's going to be a free flow of cursing in this film. That's the kind of Logan Wolverine the fans have been looking for because he's not a nice character. He's He's very valiant, and that was part of the appeal to the fans, that he's the one X-Man who was willing to go that extra step to kill some folks to protect mutant kind, to protect his family and friends, which is why they spun off into the X-Force, which is supposed to be like the Black Ops version of the X-Men.
So don't be forced to accept especially the X-23 equivalent to the comic book version. Obviously, she's a lot younger. She's she's a kid. She's literally.
I don't know that she's actually that young, because remember, Old Man Logan in the comics is sent like 100 years into the future, where mutant kind has kind of started to die off, and Logan's mutant healing factor has started to fail him, which is why he's actually aging, which is why he's actually scarring when he gets hurt. And so I think they're pulling that same kind of thing, unless there's some mutant virus that went out on the round and started killing people. This is set far into the future, like farther than I think Xavier would even be alive, because even in like the current X-Men films, he's like 60 years old or something.
Yeah.
And so set pushing it like another 100 years. I don't think it's. I think story-wise, I don't think Xavier would be alive. So in my opinion, this is just my speculation, folks. I think Xavier is a fiction of Logan's imagination. Either he's just in his head as like a form of his conscience, or Xavier kind of transplanted his psychic mind into Logan, because as almost like a vessel, until then he can actually talk to Logan, but he's just psychically projecting himself from Logan's mind, and he's trying to guide him on this route. And as far as X-23 goes, she could be like 100 years old and she would still look like she's 10.
It's true, but she is grown. Because I was going to say the version that they did on the comic book version, she was more of a teenager, a little older and everything. Because she was, when I first read about her in the comic boys, like I didn't know who this X-23 character was and everything. She was a prostitute, but she was a prostitute that killed people for obviously the money. So go off with a guy.
So it was more along the lines of like using seduction as a tool for assassination, not prostitution as an ends to itself. It was more like a Black Widow kind of thing going on. But again, I don't know that necessarily, because I know they're trying to pull the vibe in from like The Last of Us, where it's like an adult trying to take care of a kid, but at the same time they're both killing a bunch of things. So they're doing that kind of vibe too.
Did you see the video comparison too from the trailer and The Last of Us, where they're like, "Is this the same movie?" Or
there's totally the same kind of vibe, at least for the trailer. That and like old. Country for Old Men, as far as like the Wolverine portion goes. So I'm definitely looking forward to a different kind of superhero film. I almost want to say that this is just a good film that just happens to have superheroes or mutants in it. I don't even know if they're superheroes at this point, because it's going to be a rated R movie.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be great. And getting some more news of Marvel movies. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the teaser trailer. The first teaser trailer of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was released this week, and it looks like the whole gang is back. Star-Lord by Chris Pratt. Gamora by Zoe Saldana. Drax the Destroyer by Dave Bautista. Rocket Raccoon by Bradley Cooper, and even Tiny Groot by Vin Diesel. Gamora is seen running around, jumping through the air with one of her deadly blades, while her half-sister, Nebula, played by Karen Gillan, is sporting a new headwear. Yondu, Michael Rooker, is finally sporting his badass red mohawk, much like his comic book counterpart, and lots of blue-faced aliens are flying through the air and looking none too pleased about it. What is clear is the first movie's very, very W-R-Y?
That'd be Rye.
Rye. Okay, sorry. Rye, sense of humor in front of the center. Drax advises Quill that he needs to find a woman as pathetic as he is, rather than pining over Gamora. And the Guardians have spacesuits stored away for both emergencies and fun. Also returning the film's distinctive soundtrack, the teaser is set to the Blue Suede's Hooked on a Feeling, which was one of many 1970s hits on Peter Quill's mixtape, received from his dying mother before being kidnapped by the passing spaceship.
And did you see little baby toddler Groot at the very end of it on the raccoon's shoulder? Like, oh, isn't that adorable? Do you think he's going to be like a deadly little tree, or just like a little side character that does cute things?
Well, that's the thing. He's like a little cute, little chubby kind of, like a little stuffed animal kind of thingy. But if you're going to still be voiced by Vince Diesel as a little baby Groot, is he going to try to be like cute and go, I am Groot? Or is he still going to be like, I am Groot? But, baby form.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I don't think Vin Diesel cares. He'll like, I'm getting paid either way. I'll be the cute little voice.
Words. I am Groot.
Yeah, in a variety of ways that have to convey emotional content within those 3 words. So that's an amazing challenge for an actor, and I think Vin Diesel can handle that particular challenge.
So what do you think? Blue aliens. Who do you think they are? Are they the Kree?
No, I think they're more of the, what's his name, Zandu's characters. Isn't he blue?
His peoples?
Yeah, I think it's more of him. Basically, they're all funny looking. Maybe they have similar weaponry, so maybe he's being chased by his own people, and that's why he has to go to the Guardians for some big, huge mission. I don't really actually care about the plot of this particular movie. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm sure it's going to be super amazing, action-oriented, spacey, shooty, pow-pow, pew-pew kind of thing. But it's the humor, it's the adventure, it's the camaraderie between the characters that you really kind of want to see. It's like seeing your old friends and not really caring what you do, just hanging around and goofing off.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see because, honestly, no offense to Mr. Dave Bautista, loved him his professional wrestling work and everything, but especially when you're that kind of character where you're literally a bare-chested guy, you can only be bare-chested for so long because, things sag unless you don't spend that much time in the gym. It's going to be great, but I think they're eventually going to give him a vest or something like that. If they decide to make a part 3, because they are the connection that's going to be in the War of the Gems.
Infinity Wars?
Infinity Wars,
yeah. That's the big mashup between when all the characters from all the different intellectual properties meet in the same movie, and your Marvel movie fanboy head explodes.
Everywhere just jizz. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun no matter what. It's just a matter of like, okay, what's this story gonna be about? Because
honestly, I don't really care about this. I mean, the story, guys. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to have a good time. And that's all I really care about when I go to the movies these days. But that's going to be it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this program. We can't do this without you folks. And if you want to support us, you can find out all the ways to do so at
geekbytespodcast.com/support.
That's absolutely correct. And thanks again for watching, for everybody joining us in the live chat room when we're filming this live on Facebook Live. Thank you, everyone, for watching and joining and commenting. You make this good. And that's it for the show, everybody, for Geek Bytes Podcast. I am Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgar Acosta.
And remember, folks, go geek out about something.